So what do you call yourself?
Antonio Montana. And you? What you call yourself?
Ready for action are the Suns. Everyone is in their seat here at the U.S. Airways Center as the Suns look to grab a win here in downtown Phoenix. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. And as we take a look here at Brook Lopez, guys, give us some thoughts.
Well, it didn't take long for Brook Lopez to become a factor in the middle. As soon as he came into this league, he was scoring and rebounding at a pretty good rate. And, you know, you watch him, he's not overwhelming, but he's got a nice set of low post moves, and he's athletic enough to get those shots off from either block.
Something else with Brook, Steve, is he's such a consistent player that it's very hard for them to have an off game. His game doesn't fluctuate a whole lot. He's pretty steady. He'll find a way to score either from the line with his excellent free throw shooting or with his back to the basket.
The Nets log another stop on their travel schedule in today's matchup. They are one of the few undefeated teams at this point of the new NBA season with a 7-0 record. Tremendous play.
Well, I think for Brooklyn, they played terrific basketball this year. They haven't missed a beat after the success they had last season. Well, it's hard to find a team that matches up with them comfortably.
Well, you're right, Clark. I mean, they would probably have the upper hand against almost any team in this league. I mean, they're a very difficult matchup. They've got plenty of talent, and they're so well coached. And what I like is they play hard every single night.
Here's man. Misses off the right iron.
Well, head coach Jason Kidd, that's a phrase I didn't expect to hear this quickly, but Kidd wasted no time. Only a matter of weeks after he announced his retirement as a player, he was named the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And it's going to be interesting to see the transition. Kidd, obviously great basketball IQ, so well respected as a person in the league. I think it's just a matter of time before he really finds his footing and becomes an excellent coach.
The free throw off from Lopez. And back to Coach Jason Kidd, Clark, a rookie at the coaching profession, but one of the most intelligent and respected point guards over his 19 years in the NBA.
Yeah, always respected as a leader, and his basketball IQ off the chart. So I think he's one of the few guys that could go right from playing to being a successful head coach.
Man, in the starting lineup for the very first time in the NBA.
You know, with this being the first start of his NBA career, the pressure gets ratcheted up a little bit. The team just is hoping that he contributes, but you never know with a rookie.
But it isn't like he hasn't had pressure on him already. I mean, he was a first-round pick, and that always comes with a heavy burden. So far, I think he's handled everything that's been thrown at him pretty well.
Dishes it to Morris. Bledsoe outside. Rocket 6. Now the pass to man. On the top of the key. That's good on the jump shot. Here's Johnson. And so just over a minute and a half played.
You know, a lot of things went right for the Nets last season, but one area they struggled in was handling the Western Conference teams. In 30 chances against teams out west, they only won 13 times.
Phoenix with the ball. After the miss from Darren Williams. Gortat, the pass to man. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. There's the pick. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. And back to the Nets against the West. That number not really what you want if you plan on winning a tough division, Steve, like the Atlantic.
Well, that was the difference last year in terms of who won the Atlantic. The Knicks had a great record against the West, and the Nets did not. So I think to get a high seed, to win their division, the Nets have to have a better record against Western Conference teams this year.
So for Phoenix, their last game, a win against the Trailblazers in the Rose Garden.
And I think, Kevin, you know, they really showed how important it is to have a strong bench performance. You go out on the road, you can't rely on your starters night in and night out. The reserves have to contribute and help them out.
I think we definitely saw that, Steve, throughout the game. They were really tied together as a team. Didn't make any difference who was out on the floor. you'll take every road game win you can, and they're happy with that one.
Here's Lopez. Here's Garnett. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. This game against Brooklyn here, it's their first look at the Nets.
Always a little tougher to see how you match up with teams in the opposite conference because you just don't see them very often.
Steve talking about the lack of games, reps between these two teams. There's not a lot of history between them, and this is their first chance this season to create some, I guess, with one more meeting later on coming up.
You know, that's what we get when it's East versus West, Kevin, but it certainly hasn't detracted from the atmosphere in here. I think, if anything, it's added a little something to it.
I agree. The Nets making a switch here. Watch is checked in. He hits one and misses one, each at the line.
You know, for so long, the Suns had been one of the stronger teams in the West and typically could just blitzkrieg Eastern Conference teams with their offense. That's not the case anymore. It really was the East that got the better of the Suns last season.
Well, back to the Suns against the Eastern Conference. They really seemed to flounder at times, and they had to travel to the East Coast. And, Steve, even when they hosted teams in the desert.
You know, all good things must come to an end, and the Suns' dominance over the East wasn't going to last forever. Because, remember, for many years, the Suns just ran roughshod over the Eastern Conference. But only 8 wins in their 30 games against the East. That was by far the lowest total of anybody in the West.
You know, the Nets really turned things around last season, guys, and a big part of that was them turning around their road record a bit. Turned some of those losses into wins, and much better on the road. It got them the 4th seed in the East.
And for the Nets, who looked so much better when they were out on the road last season, actually ended with the 2nd best road record, Steve, in the Eastern Conference.
And you remember their hot start to the season last year. Well, a lot of that was them coming in ready and winning games on the road. Eventually, they cooled off, made a coaching change, and then all the huge offseason moves. So this is really something to watch this year, a pretty exciting club.
Now here's Williams. 20 points for him last game against the Kings in Sacramento. Back to Kirilenko. Johnson outside. Shot, high post. They get the rebound. Here's Blotch. Some solid defense from Plumlee. The Suns have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. He feeds it to Fry. Passes it to Mann. There's a minute 47 left in the first. And Kirilenko sends it back. Johnson outside. On the wing, Williams. Plumlee with the steal. The drive by... Drop your jaw.
Yeah, Kevin, there's no question that he's one of the players that people pay to see. I mean, he's capable of some real artistry in terms of his dunking and his athleticism.
I would love to see 1 or 2 here today, Steve. I don't know if he plans them or if they're spur of the moment, but I do know this. They're always spectacular. You know, a lot of the talk about Andre Kirilenko has been...
Tries to save it. Man, he's in at point guard. Markieff Morris is out there with Brown. Then there's Channing Frye. And it's Dragic in at the 2. That's who's out there for Phoenix. You mentioned the versatility of Kirilenko. Great length for a small forward. He can play either forward spot. He's a versatile guy.
Yeah, his length helps him at both ends. Kevin, a good finisher inside, and we all know about the shot blocking and the steals. Love those 5 and 5 numbers of his career where he gets, 5 of everything. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, fouls, whatever you want.
Brown outside. B. The dish to Fry. It's Brown on the wing. 2 on the clock. And the first half ends in a close one. Nets lead by 1. Time now for the halftime break, with the 3rd quarter soon to follow, right here on 2K Sports.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime show. Glad you're with us.
I'm Damon Bruce. Brooklyn up on top against the Suns out at U.S. Airways Center. They might be picked as the favorites, but they got a game on their hands, no question. They've been relentless attacking the rim, dominating in points in the paint, and the bodies down low have been banging away. For the Suns, also a strong start. Outstanding bench production. They've gotten a very nice lift, and that's made a huge difference for them on the scoreboard. And that's all there is to it. Thanks so much for spending halftime with me. Now it's time to send you back out and start at the third quarter.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. It's been one outstanding game from Darren Williams.
And what was most impressive was that his decision-making and shot-taking was very disciplined and efficient. Really an excellent half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense has given him, and he's not trying to do too much. I love the flow and rhythm he's playing with here.
And Brooklyn, looking who they've got on the perimeter, the all-star trio of Williams, Johnson, and Pierce. Down low, Kevin Garnett and Brook Lopez. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, B, in the last outing against the Trailblazers, made some major contributions. He finished with 27 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. The cherry on top for him, in addition to his outing, was ending the losing streak his team had been suffering through. We all know how big those moments can be for a team, Kevin.
All right, Doris. Well, guys, coming off a performance like that has got to have him supreme. Here's Williams. 10-point lead. This is their biggest. Good on the shot.
He's created some good opportunities for himself and made the most of them.
Phoenix has gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game.
You know, when you're one of the worst teams in the league, you have a lot of problems. And for the Suns, one of their biggest problems was that opponents shot very close to 40% against them from behind the arc. And that's just not a winning number.
As you said, Clark, with the Suns, dead last in the league in terms of opposing three-point percentage. Defense overall was a problem for him, Steve, but especially in closing out on shooters beyond the arc.
Well, the three-point shot, Kevin, has become such a huge part of every NBA team's offense now that if you're struggling to defend that line, you're going to really find yourself at the bottom of the league defensively and record-wise, and that's exactly where Phoenix found itself. Yeah, no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent, the result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
Johnson dishes to Williams. It's good with the assist that time from Johnson. Johnson's got assist number 5 here tonight.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
Man, and it's been a while, but he finally gets one to go. B's got 5 now.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Here's Johnson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, one part of Joe Johnson's game that tends to get overlooked, guys, is his ability to create space with the dribble. He's got great size, and that ability makes him the potent scorer he is.
And for Joe Johnson, as you mentioned, Clark, great size, and he's comfortable, truly, Steve, from shooting anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, and whether it's a spot up or off the dribble, he can go either direction. He's so strong, excellent ball handling ability, but I think he could do a little more damage inside if he chose to. He's got the body to be a good post-up player.
Johnson hits them both.
An up-and-down season for the Nets last year, and the playoffs were just more of the same. They ended up getting knocked out by the Bulls in the only first-round matchup that went to 7 games.
Rockets the best of man. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Well, back to the Nets in the playoffs. They lost a game at Barclays early and looked to be on the ropes down 3-1 after 4 games, but they did well just to steal one in Chicago and force a Game 7.
What a strange series that was. The Bulls made that miracle comeback behind Nate Robinson in 1 game and then ended up going on the road to Brooklyn and winning Game 7. What a disappointment for the Nets in their debut season in Brooklyn.
1:27 left in the third. He kicks to Johnson. He's guarded by Dragic. Fades. And Johnson puts it in. Johnson's got his third bucket of the night.
Really nice work inside there. He'll always give you a battle on the interior, guys.
Brooklyn Nets come into this one after a win against the Kings.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop it.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
Williams kicks to Johnson. He's guarded by Dragic. The fadeaway. Joe Johnson again. Johnson's got 11 points.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Pulls from the top of the key. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. 11 points for B. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Now here's Williams, defended by Mann. Johnson off the pick from Garnett. Johnson dishes to Pierce. Shot clock at 6. No good, and tight defense there bothered that shot. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Nets out in front, leading by 14. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our 4th quarter coming up next. Welcome back as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know.
Outside shot down from out to the three-point line.
Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Brooklyn. And for Brook Lopez last season, Steve, almost 20 points a game, shooting over 50%.
His best season ever, Kevin. I think he's really evolved into one of the top centers in the league. A big-time elite interior threat. And as you know, that's kind of rare these days in the NBA.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Jeff Hornacek as he addressed his team. He told them that they simply have to step up, saying if we don't make a move now, it's going to be too late. Give them everything you've got. Kevin?
And as always, Doris, thank you. For 3, Williams. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got his 6th assist on the night.
Well, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. When he's out on the perimeter, it gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
And what a maestro he is as well. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him throw what looks like a blind pass, and I wonder where it's going, and suddenly it's right on target in the hands of his teammates for a basket.
Williams attacking. Garnett got it from 16 feet.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
Suns trail by 17. For those just joining us, 4th quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Here's Beasley. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Now here's Johnson. Timeout called, the Nets. Feeds it to Williams. Garnett with the screen for Williams. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got his 6th rebound on the night. The 15-footer. No good from Mann.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Johnson kicks to Williams. Defended by Mann. Back to Johnson. From the arc. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Williams has got assist number 8 here in this one already. Man passes to Gortat. Fades away. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Brooklyn leading by 18. Outside Williams. Defended by Man. The turnaround. Williams, that's good. Williams has got 31.
What a top-notch game he's having. He's gotten them in front, and it sure seemed like he's going to keep them there. All by himself, it looks like.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
Well, since we hit half number 2, he's finally come around. The first half was not his best, obviously.
Shannon Brown. He's checked in for Eric Bledsoe. Brooklyn's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Right side, Williams. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Williams has got 16 here in the second half.
Up over 50% now from the floor with the way they've shot this half.
Yeah, that's a nice improvement. It's not a surprise to see them out in front with the way they have shot throughout the entire game, as a matter of fact. They've been very efficient offensively.
Back to Johnson. Left side, Williams. The outside leaner. That one off the back iron and out.
Not really necessary with nobody on you. I mean, why put yourself off balance on that shot when you're wide open? 8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
And it's not necessarily strategic, Clark. It's just a matter of playing with more heart. Got to play hard, guys.
Poked away. Man, he's guarded by Johnson. Man passes to Brown. Beasley outside. The feed to Gortat. Brooklyn with the rebound. They led the game at 1 point by 20. Outside Williams. Pass to Lopez. Back to Williams. Kicks it to Lopez. Turnaround Jay. And it's blocked by Morris.
Well, it looks like their comeback hopes are out the window. I think this lead is safe now.
Yep, this one's a done deal.
And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Here's Anderson. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
So that'll do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
You had 20 points for the game. It was clear you were a force for your team, chipping in so much on offense. Do you feel satisfied with your performance even though the team lost?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter what I put up if we lose. Sure, the points helped, but it's just a small part of the equation. I know I could have done more on the floor, and if I did, we could have come away with the win. It gives me a lot to think about going into practice tomorrow and leading up to our next game.